Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here for the second time with the Rage organization, and I see that they're doing a wonderful job. And of course, I thank Yaakov Kabilov for always helping me in Brooklyn for all my lectures here, many different times. This shiur will be also Leilui Nishmat Alexander Ben Mark. I also want to thank Tamara that she helped to sponsor this event tonight. And thanks to her, you have free DVDs and CDs over there. And I don't want to say her last name because it takes away her reward. So, just a personal thank you. Whenever you do a mitzvah, especially charity, if they put your name as the sponsor, 90% of your reward is gone for the next world. You should know it. Always better to give anonymously, or they can say your name, but nobody knows really who this name is. So that's why all these people who donates parochet for the shul and they write donation of the family such and such, memorizing their parents, whatever it is, the Zohar says that it takes away the reward. Why? Because people respect them for that. It helps business. They get a better seat in a shul. Now it's better shidduch for their kids. You know? I, myself, ended up many years ago losing a lot of money by investing money with a guy. The only reason I invested by him because he was such a generous guy with tzedakah. I say, this guy cannot be a crook, give so much tzedakah, he's so generous to so many different causes. In the end, Hashem told me to be generous and to be honest is two different things. And also today we're going to speak about honesty, yosher in Hebrew, integrity. Being an honest person. Many people think being an honest is being a chassid. It's more than the actual requirements. You know, Rabbi, we have to make a living. We have children to feed. I have my rent to pay. All kinds of excuses. You know, without health insurance, what would I do? It's a life risk. It's pikuach nefesh. I had no choice. Many, many excuses. And the truth is that the basic foundation of Judaism is yosher, being an honest person. Without that, definitely a person cannot define himself as a righteous person. He keeps Shabbos, he puts tefillin every day, he eats kosher, he makes bracha, he does a lot of wonderful things, no? Yeah, this is the ordinary everyday things. Putting tefillin doesn't make you a better human being. It's an important holy mitzvah. Keeping Shabbos doesn't make you a better human being. There's only one thing that will improve your character, your personality, is learning Torah, mainly Musar. What's the right word for Musar in English? Maybe ethics. It's hard to find. Some words just does not exist in English. The ones who made the language didn't have these values. They didn't know that they have to make, They didn't have, even the word chesed, kindness, is the most similar word, but it's not really chesed, kindness. Being kind doesn't mean you are Baal chesed. There's nothing, I never found a better word for it. You see, some of the Jewish words, key words in the Torah, doesn't exist in other languages. It's a unique thing for Jews. Anyway, the Gemara, everything I say, you know, if you know me, I always bring the sources. Nothing is, I sit and I make up my own opinions here. So it's all from the Torah that we receive in Mount Sinai. We have to know the truth of God. Many of the things I'm going to speak about tonight applies to Goyim as well, to non-Jews. You know, and we're going further to explain what I mean, but first thing, the source in the Gemara, in the oral Torah, 4 groups of Jews cannot accept the Spirit of God. What does it mean? It could be few things. One, when the time Mashiach comes, how many people will have the merit to see him? Very little. Very little. Not that many. Why? It says, Uva leTzion Goel, the Savior come to Zion, to the nation of Israel, Leshaveh Pesha beYaakov. To who? Who does he come for? For the people who make sins in Manhattan or in San Francisco? He comes to see them? No, he's not interested in them. He's a very holy messenger of God. He comes to correct the world. So he comes to Leshaveh Pesha beYaakov. We say it every day in the davening, in the morning. Uva leTzion Goel uLshaveh Pesha beYaakov. Who does he come for? He comes for Shavei Pesha. Shav means to repent, to return from his evil way, from his bad direction. As the Torah says, Veshavta ad Hashem Elokecha Veshamata bekolo. And you return all the way. I put a highlight on those. Ad Hashem Elokecha, not halfway through, not a third, not 70%. Ad Hashem Elokecha. You want to make tshuva? Do it right. Don't do me a favor, 20%, 15%. Rabbi, it's better than nothing. That's the way that losers think. It's better than nothing. I do 10%. Right? Other people don't even do this. You know what's the difference between you to other people? They have no idea what they live for. You know the truth 100%. Knowing the truth and achieving only 20% from your mission, it's a big failure. Much big. Thank you. It's failing. Not knowing what you're here for. No, of course you fail. What's the expectation? Do you think that Hashem has the same expectation from every Jew? Of course not. If he loves you, if he loves your father, if he loves your grandfather, if you come from an important family, it's called Zchut Avot, the merit of your parents. Then he gives you an opportunity to meet the right speakers that will tell you the truth in your face. If he's not so in love with you, he will send you to hear jokes, beautiful stories, and he won't wake you up. If you finally came to a lecture of a speaker who gives you a few punches and wake you up from your dreams, then you know somebody really pray hard for you, that you'll have an opportunity to see the truth. Most of the people in the world don't get to see the truth. They see it in a very limited way. Very limited way. And sometimes you see, you wonder, this person calls himself religious, and if you rate him between 0 to 100, he's not even 1% from 100. And he thinks that he's a righteous person that have a chair next to Moshe Rabbeinu and the Rambam right there on a stage in heaven. VIP. It's my chair. Nobody can take it away from me, Rabbi. Why? I give $5 donation every week. No, you know? In a shul, you can buy any chair you want. The shul needs money. You want to sit next to the rabbi? It could be a Mechalel Shabbos. They put you next to the rabbi. Write $100,000 donation. They have no choice. They put you there. Shul needs money. Thank God, we always say, that the Jewish causes have people who are willing to donate publicly. What does it mean? If you come to the shul and say, ladies and gentlemen, it costs $1 million to maintain this big, beautiful synagogue here in Ocean Parkway. It costs $1 million. Please anonymously put cash in the box. You come in the end of the year, $1.99 from 500 people. Now you come again and you say, okay, let's change the approach. Please come to a fundraising that will take place at that night. Everyone make a bid. 10,000, 15,000. Ego. If we didn't have people with ego, all the yeshivot and the synagogue will be bankrupt right away. One good thing comes out of it. There's only one problem. Money that comes to a holy cause for the wrong reasons have no blessing. No blessing in it. That's why many of the synagogues eventually close down. Or there's arguments. Sometimes even violence. Sometimes they change 15 rabbis in 2 years. What's going on in this place? Sometimes you do a lecture there, nobody shows up. And again, and you advertise, Facebook, this. 15 people shows up. Then you go to a place, no advertisement, no nothing, every week 200 people. Why? Hashem is not interested to pay the people who build these synagogues with bad rates and bad negative reasons, because they don't deserve such a high reward. So that's why he doesn't want activity to take place in their building. Monday and Thursday they open up the shul, they learn in the Torah, so there is minyan, Baruch Hashem, twice a week. The rest of the week the place is closed. $20 million building. I've been in some of those. Why? The person who built it could be a drug dealer, could be a crook. We're going to explain how it works. If a person does it from his heart, then there's a big blessing in it. I saw places that people build it with a lot of sweat and honest and decent and clean money, and the place has such success. There is one synagogue in Yerushalayim, more than 100 years old. Many years ago, actually it's more than 200 years old. In the time of Napoleon, they built it. How do you know? There's a sign over there that it was built from 150 Napoleons. It's like $150,000. And Napoleon was a special coin with, you know, the image of Napoleon, I think gold, something like that. That's the money of 200 years ago. And they built that, two partners built that shul. Why this shul is packed around the clock for 200 years? Why? Because when they decided to open up the shul, they calculated that they're going to need 100 Napoleon, which is supposedly, let's say, $100,000. And one partner was in charge of building the place, and the other one was a silent partner. He just gave 50 Napoleon. And what happened is, while he was building the place, he found out that they miscalculated the expenses. Now they're going to need 150 Napoleon, not 100, which means it requires another 50. Each one has to give another 25. But he didn't feel that he should go back to his partner and tell him, give me more. So he decided to pay extra 50 from his own pocket. But later the partner found out. He found out. And he came to him and said, hey, I have 25 Napoleons for you. You paid an extra 50. I'm a partner. Today, most of the time it would be, oh, how lucky I am, he didn't call me. Call me now. I gave him 50, now he wants another 25. What a chutzpah. It's his problem. Why he didn't calculate right? But he got upset. And I said, I'm sorry, I already made the mitzvah. I cannot take money from you. It's my mitzvah already. What, you want me to sell it to you? He took him to Beit Din. I went to the judge, to the Dayan. Rabbi, deal is a deal. 50-50 on everything. Right? Why he doesn't take from me extra 25? He said, no, he's right. I made a mistake. I should have told him and take it. But since I didn't, I already gave the money. It's already my mitzvah. That's it. I built it. Now what do you want me to take it and sell it? And the rabbi told him, Baruch Hashem, how many tragedies are prevented in a Jewish nation thanks to both of you. Now I understand. He had an incident with a goy. He wanted to kill some Jews. And he said, now I understand why I was so successful after I see two Jewish brothers fighting who's going to give more. But this was not for ego and honor. Just to build a place that people can learn Torah and pray. 200 years, you come 2 o'clock at night, it's packed. You understand? The blessing is there. Other places, people give much more money, millions of dollars, and the places are empty. They make weddings over there. Mixed dancing. DJ, 5,000 scenes an hour. You know? Now this person said, I gave $20 million, and what happened? He became a disco bar. The answer is, of course. You know why? Because where your money came from? 20 years of cheating your customers. How much blood you spilled. Now you take the money and want to give it to me as a sacrifice? I'm not interested in this kind of sacrifices. I'm not interested. You steal tefillin and you put it and you say Shema Yisrael and you think it's a mitzvah? Did you pay for it? After you pay, it's your mitzvah. You didn't pay, it's not your mitzvah. Everyone is generous with other people's money. Right? If it's somebody else paying, very good, let's do more and more and more. But when it comes to his, oh, now he's much more conservative. Let's check, maybe it's not necessary. Anyway, so the Gemara say there are 4 groups of people who cannot see the Shekhinah. Shekhinah is, what's the right word for the word Shekhinah?
Godly presence.
Godly presence? Very good. Oh, thank you. Godly presence. For that they have a word. Good, Baruch Hashem. Who are those 4 groups? Who knows? 4 groups. Very good. First group, clowns. Not clowns in the circus or Purim. No, that's fine. It's kosher clown. Clowns means people that all they care about is joking around. Nothing they take serious. Comedy, stand-up. Finally, when they decide to come to a lecture, they have 3 or 4 options this week. Where they're going to go? To the comedian one that tells a lot of jokes. That's why the lectures of the comedians have 500 people minimum. And the lectures of the people who give Musar, 50 people. 100 people if they're lucky. 200, it's already the arrival of the Mashiach. Right? Most people don't want to hear the truth. Jokes, imitations, playing guitar, it's beautiful. The Goyim also have it. What's the difference? Just that the speaker has a beard and a yarmulke. A yarmulke is for $2 and a beard is for free. So the Gemara say letzim, cut letzim. All they care about is joking around. Hey, you, what? Everything is a joke. Nothing is serious in life. This is why David HaMelech started Tehillim, first verse in Tehillim, 150 chapters, holy of holies. That's such a holy book. First verse, Ashrei Adam asher lo yashav b'moshav letzim. A person, how lucky is a person that doesn't live among or interact with all these leitzim, clowns, jokers. Maybe there's other words to describe them, but you got the point. If he started his book with this verse, that means that's everything. You're going to be among these people, they'll turn you like them, and you don't have any inside. It's all external. All your religion is one big fake. Religious from the outside, and then you become a rapist and go to jail for 7 years. Why? Because nothing is serious. No Torah, no ethic, none of these things. And from the outside it looks very impressive. But you cannot fool Hashem. You can fool everyone, yes. Few you cannot fool. Hashem, nobody can fool him. We know. You cannot fool your wife. Your wife see what time you wake up in the morning. That's enough. She knows if you're righteous or not. Your children, they see what kind of father you are. I always say, if you want to know if this person is really a tzaddik, when you call him up, you see how his wife called him to the phone and how his children are calling him. If you feel respect and honor, then you know that if his children respect him, which is very rare in this generation, he has to be special. But they call him Itzik, his father, Itzik in Israel, Itzik, Ronnie, telephone. Or in a Shabbos table, then you know, you get the point. You can fake the world, but you cannot fake your closest relatives, right? You cannot fool Hashem. So kat leitzim. Second one, kat chanfanim. Chanfanim. What chanfanim? Chanfanim is people who give lots of respect to the wrong people, to the wicked people. We have to stay away from them and do everything you can not to be around them. What do? All day they run and kiss them and hug them and try to show them how important they are. All these thieves and liars and murderers. Why? For different reasons. Kat chanfanim. Mitchanef l'reshaim. He showed them that they are important. You see, they wear nice clothes or they drive a nice car, so automatically gives them a lot of respect. Everyone comes to his party, he doesn't rise. Oh, that rich guy comes, even though he's the biggest crook in town, he sees him, he gets up. Why? Maybe one day my son marries his daughter and I won't have to spend money on a house. Yeah, maybe he will expand the shul. We need a place for Seudat Shlishit. He needs something from this crook. So that's called kat chanfanim. You know, and of course Hashem doesn't like fakers like this, hypocrite. This is who you respect. You have to show your children who should you respect and who you shouldn't. By the way, if we're already speaking about it, that's the time to mention that there is a very famous argument. What is the right way to make repentance? When a person becomes religious, first question he asks, what do I do with all my old friends? I grew up with them. I go to school with them. Some of them are my cousins. They're not Shomer Shabbat. They curse. They listen to bad music. They don't dress properly. They make much worse sins than what I mentioned. Now, do I run away from them? Or I stay to mingle with them as I used to, while I'm becoming more and more observant? What do you think is the right way? Huh? What do you think? Is it possible to stay friends with all your old friends, all your relatives, and at the same time to grow in your spirituality? The answer is absolutely not. Before you realize, they bury you back to where you used to be buried. And in case you are not sure, I'll prove to you from the Gemara. It's not my opinion. If it's my opinion, no problem. You have all the rights to make an X on it. It's my opinion, you have the opposite opinion. Once I bring it to you from the Gemara, you have to be very clever not to ignore it. The Gemara says there used to be a big gangster, the head of the gangsters, the head of the mafia, 2,000 years ago. His name was Shimon ben Lakish. One day he became Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. His nickname was Rish Lakish. Rish is abbreviation of Rabbi Shimon. Rish Lakish. What was special about Rish Lakish? The Gemara says, if Rish Lakish spoke few words on the street to any Jewish individual, all the people in town used to run with cash to that person and beg him if they can invest by him without an agreement, without witnesses. Can I give you $100,000 to invest for me? Do I know you? No, you don't know me, but I know you. How do you know me? I never saw you. Remember, there's no internet that the whole world, I walk in Queens, every other person knows me, hugging me, this, I never saw you. So I feel like I'm your friend. I watch you for 4 years every day. I feel like we're friends. Fine, you are my friend, but I know I never saw you. Fine, Baruch Hashem, all Jews are friends. At least it's good. Anyway, so Rish Lakish used to talk to him. Everyone runs, car, here, make me, put money, buy for me. Let's do a deal together. Why? If he spoke to him, for sure is 100% clean and righteous. He will never dare to speak to a not righteous person. Why? He used to be a criminal. Once he became a tzaddik, I don't even step around people like this. I got to clean my life. Why? If you think you're a hero, think again. And that's always like this. The people who made real tshuva, they moved out of the bad area, they changed the school or whatever, they're not going to this kind of parties anymore. I know it's hard. It's hard to change. It's hard to give up. That's the sacrifice. This kind of people in a very short period of time became somebody huge. The people who lived half and half, I remember when I went to the autistic kid about 10 years ago, I brought one of my friends. And since it was in Borough Park, so my friend dressed like a real Hasid, even though normally he doesn't dress like this, because he works in an area with lots of goyim, so he dressed like them, he puts a hat. So the autist right away begin to attack him, even though he dressed like a rabbi. He cannot fool him, it's a soul. It's not a person, a regular person, it's a soul. Right away started to attack my friend. Why? You dressed like a goy. First thing he told him. They dress black and white now. So my friend told him, why do you care about the outside? What's important is the inside. So I say to my friends, the outside influences the inside. Once you begin to dress like a Jew, eventually you become a Jew. Mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma. You sit to learn Torah, it's very difficult. 2 months later, you begin to understand and love it. Why? You forced yourself to do the right thing. אחרי הפעולות נמשכים הלבבות. After the actions follows the heart, Chazal says, not the opposite. 99.99999% of the people, if you ask them what follows what, the hearts follows the actions or the actions follow the hearts. Almost everyone will tell you the actions follow the hearts. If I love it, then I will do it. If I don't love it, I will never do it. It's not for me. That's a wrong thinking. That's a wrong thinking. The right thinking is, that's the right thing to do. I like it, I don't like it, it's not relevant right now. First, I must do it. And for sure, after 5-6 times, I will fall in love with it. 100%. Try. Take mitzvah that it's hard for you to do. You don't like it, it's hard for you to do. Do it. Force yourself. Penalize yourself every time you're not doing it. See 2-3 months down the road, you call me, tell me if I was right. Not me. It's not the credit for me. The credit is for Chazal. They were the biggest psychologists in history. They knew the psychology of a person, not 99.9%, 101%. From all directions. The psychology of a woman, of a married woman, of a man, of a Talmid Chacham. Something happened to the laptop. I don't know, it became black. Yeah. Yeah. So anyone could be...
The battery died?
I don't know. All right, so anyway... Oh, it's still working?
Yeah, just the screensaver.
All right, no problem. False alarm. Maybe I have to drink. So after you take a food that you don't like, eat it again, 2-3 months later, it becomes your favorite food.
Good to keep married.
And that's the way it is. Yeah. So this is basically what's going on. The person's psychology is that he can get used to everything. Everything. And that's if a person understands that first he has to force himself to do the right thing, eventually he'll get used to it. So let's move on. So the second group we said, Chanfanim. So we have Leitzim, we have Chanfanim. What's the third group? Dovrei Lashon Hara. People who speaks gossip all day. Did you see what she wore to the wedding? I can't believe it. I saw her in the last wedding wearing the same dress. What's going on? Her father is a millionaire. What is this? He doesn't give her money to buy a new dress? Yeah. All kinds of nonsense. What do you gain by this? Now she goes and tells it to another person, this, that. Somebody's life will be ended eventually because of your nonsense that you talk. You say to somebody something, the next day a shidduch got cancelled. Why? Because you say to another person who say to the mother of the thing. You know what happened? 2 girls from Bet Yaakov sitting on a bus in Yerushalayim and speaking about a girl non-stop Lashon Hara. How did she get such a guy? If he only knew what kind of girl she is, he'll never agree to marry her. How can it be? We got to do something about it. That's all they talk about. And there's a woman sits behind them, religious woman, and she listens to it. Then she couldn't take it anymore. And she got up and said, girls, I want to tell you, thank you very much. It just saved my life. What? I'm Yosef's mother, the Hassan. You know, and I'm going to tell my son right away to call it off. So they looked at her and said, wait. Don't jump to conclusion. Wait. She said, what do you mean? After what I heard, you're telling me to wait? In 5 minutes, the shidduch is off. The girl started to beg her, no, you didn't understand us. It wasn't really the truth. She said, I'm sorry, you cannot convince me. The truth already was said. But she wasn't the real mother. But she made them sweat for Mechila. Smart woman. You know what it means to try to make tshuva for one Lashon Hara? Somebody asked the Chafetz Chaim, Rabbi, I read your book, and now I realize that I have a lot to correct. If you want to really enjoy a good lecture, watch my lecture, Email from God. Very recommended. It's about this, Lashon Hara. But it's amazing. It's not my idea. Somebody made that idea. It's fantastic.
You have on your site?
It's on my website. Email from God, that's what it's called. So, he asked the Chafetz Chaim, Rabbi, okay, I spoke Lashon Hara about one person. How do I fix it? So the Chafetz Chaim told him, here, come. He gave him a pillow full of feathers. He took the corner of the pillow, he made a little hole in it. He said, you see this huge building here? Go to the roof and hit the pillow 50 times. And he said, and then what, Rabbi? He said, then come back to me, I'll tell you how to make tshuva for your Lashon Hara. So he went, he hit the pillow, millions of feathers are flying all over. He comes to the Chafetz Chaim, he said, Rabbi, what now? He said, now go and collect all the feathers. That's Lashon Hara. One Lashon Hara. Where are you going to find all these people? Kat dovrei Lashon Hara cannot see godly presence. Right? That's the right word? Very good. And the fourth one is our subject tonight. Kat shakranim. Liars. Liars cannot be present when Hashem is present, or the Mashiach, or any messenger of Hashem, or the prophet. Why it's so important that liars cannot be in the presence of Hashem? Why? The answer is, every sin in the Torah, every restriction, what is the language? You should not do A. You should not do B. You should not do C. All of a sudden, stay away from D. Don't even come near it. What do you understand? Which one of the four is the worst? A, B, C, or D? D, for sure. Why? Why Hashem changed his language? Why he was in a different mood? His wife didn't make him breakfast maybe today? What happened that he changed his language? Up to now, you should not do. All of a sudden, from this, stay away like you stay away from a fire. Why? That's the worst. What is it? Midvar sheker tirchak. Not only don't lie, you hear any lie, run away from this place. Why? You have to be allergic to liars. If you are not allergic to liars, it means you are in their gang. Right? Tell me who your friends, I tell you who you are, no? I always say to people, if there is a community, half of them are good, half of them are not. And it's very hard to know which one of the community belongs to this group and which one to the good group. So people sometimes come to ask me, how do I know if this guy is right or wrong? They all belong to one group. So I say to him, all of them are the same. I say, what, to the good side or to the bad side? I say, all of them to the bad side. He said, why? Maybe they're not. Maybe they don't adopt the nonsense that the other group says. So I say, if they sit with them in the same synagogue and marry their children together and eat together from the same plate, they're just as bad as them. You don't need to isolate this good, this is bad. Why? If I have to sit with a murderer or a rapist in the same table and eat with him from the same hummus plate, I won't be able to swallow. I don't know. Maybe you can. I can't. Better starve. Yom Kippur. Twice a year. Why? Where is the source? David HaMelech again. Mesanecha Hashem esna. Hashem, your haters, I hate them. What is it like? Someone comes to you and say, you're a nice guy, but I cannot stand your father. Okay, no hard feeling, as long as you like me. If this is what you answer, everybody knows you don't love your father. If you love your father, how can you talk another word to this person? Comes to you and say, I cannot stand your father. Even if he has a point. If he doesn't have a point, for sure. Even if he has a point. It's your father. Where is your gratitude? The Torah said to respect him even if he's not Moshe Rabbeinu. Right? The Torah didn't say respect your father only if he's Rabbi Akiva. Nobody would have to respect their parents. Respect your father only if he's 6 feet tall. No conditions. Even though, according to the Gaon Mivilna, it's not so simple. Your parents are wicked, according to him, you don't have to pay them any respect. But that's not the halakha in Shulchan Aruch. It's opinion of a huge chacham. Why? They don't give respect to Hashem. Why should we give respect to them? Okay, we have something to argue about. So kat shakranim, group of liars do not stay in the presence of God. The word in Hebrew, emet, it's the opposite of sheker. Sheker, it's a lie, emet is the truth. Inside the alphabet, we already see a very interesting secret about these two words. Emet, which is the truth, Aleph stands on two legs, Mem stands on two legs, and Taf stands on two legs. Because the Emet, the truth, is solid and stands forever. Sheker, a lie, stand on one leg. Shin stand on one leg, there's a corner in the bottom. Kuf stand on one leg, and Resh stand on one leg. Why? It's temporary. They will not last forever. Cannot stand on one feet forever. It's a matter of time until you collapse. Also, Emet, Aleph is the first letter, Mem it's the middle one, Taf it's the last one. From the beginning of the world to the end of the world, through every generation is the same Emet, same Torah, it never change. And Sheker is three letters back to back, Kuf, Shin and Resh in the wrong order. It should have been Keresh, Kuf, Resh, Shin. Shin, Kuf, Resh. Why? The liars, they confuse themselves. How do you check if a person is honest and is a liar? I'll give you a hint. If a person come and tell you a story, pretend that you believe, and wait a week. And then come and ask him again. Tell me, remember the story? And you see how he tells the story different. If he tell exactly the same details, even the smallest details, it really happened. Because it's recorded in his imagination. But if it was a false story, he doesn't remember. Every person he told the story, you think he remember? All of a sudden, Rivka became Rachel in a story. No, Rabbi, she has two names. It's an English name, Rachel. Also, when a person lies, you see on his body, what are the signs who turn a person in when he lies? Even though he's a very, very professional and talented liar, if we can even say it, how do you know if he lies or not? One of the signs, if he touches his nose a lot, if he moves a lot when he talks, if he cannot create direct eye contact with you when he talks. Those are signs if you know a person tells the truth or not. You know, you look at the kids. When a kid does something wrong, he cannot look in your eyes. 2 or 3 years old kid. You come to look in his eyes, he turns around. You come to the other side, he turns around. Why? You can't. That's a sign that it stays forever. It's not only by kids. And sometimes the people don't even realize. They can tell a story, but through their body language, you see if they tell the truth or not. There was one story in Israel. A guy met a girl, and tonight is their wedding. Now, you know, in Israel, many people bring cash in the envelopes, not only checks. Check, it's always possible to cancel if something went wrong. But cash is cash. So, you know, they have a big box with a bag inside, and all the people who come take their envelope and put it inside. In the end of the night, around midnight, they gather all the checks, all the envelopes in a bag. They made a knot and they put it on a chair. Now, Sheva Brachot, She'akol bara lichvodo, okay. All of a sudden, there's 20, 30 people left already. The wedding is over. The girl asks the guy, where are the checks? He said, it was right here. You didn't take it? No. He asks his father, everyone, where are the bag? Everyone looks around. Could be thousands of dollars there. The bag is gone. Imagine what a deadly end to a wedding. Especially when they count on some of this money to pay the band, the video guy. You know how it is. They look around. Forget it. 2 o'clock at night, they can't find the bag. The kala is crying. The chatan is almost fainting. The father of the kala is pulling his hair off. What crooks there are. What person with no heart can do such a thing? They all calling the police. The police come. The police say, what can we do? Only Eliyahu Navi can find out where your bag is. What the police can do. Okay, the money is gone. 3 weeks later, Life is going on. They make a party. But the video came out. I invited the whole family. Everyone is filling up the beautiful living room. And they're all watching. All of a sudden, it's now the end. The rabbi comes with a microphone and a glass of wine. Sheva brachot. So the girl said to the guy, imagine if we see who stole the bag. 20 seconds later, they hear a chair flipped over and someone's head banged right on the floor. It's an Israeli floor. Over here, it's wood. Over there, it's hard like a rock. Boom! They turn around. The father of the bride is fainted. At the same time, they look at the screen, puts it inside, begins to run, disappears from the camera. He's the thief, the father of the, and he's the one. What a cruel person did such a thing. Just when he saw the camera is aiming on him, he didn't know he's been filmed. He comes, he steals all the money. When he knows what's coming in the next second, he couldn't bear the embarrassment. And he fainted right away. That's the way the body protects ourselves. When something is really overwhelming, cannot tolerate it, boom, shuts. An emergency switch. Person faints. This is what happened to the brother of Yosef. When they found out this is Yosef. Remember, when he left, he had a very, very smooth face. Now, all of a sudden, he has a beard. They didn't recognize him. Plus, he dressed like a king. So what happened? He said, Ani Yosef. What does the Torah say? They got so shocked, they couldn't make a beep. They didn't know where to hide. And Chazal say, Oy lanu miyom adin. That's what a person will feel when he comes in front of Hashem and the video begins to play. He knows what's coming. Before you see what you're doing in hidden rooms, but there's only one problem. Over there you cannot faint because you don't have a body. Over here the body shuts off. Over there there's no body. You cannot shut the soul is always working. Cannot put it off. No pause on the soul is recording constantly. That's why when you hypnotize a person, you can get him back to his previous life. He speaks in different languages, different accent. He describes what happened 200-300 years ago in different country. This is all recorded in the soul. That's why Hashem says in the Torah, "Lo taturu acharei levavchem ve'achrei einechem." Be careful what you're looking at. Everything is recorded. Imagine a person has a camera attached to his eyes. One time, I found out one rabbi in Monsey, he told me that the menorah of Bet HaMikdash is buried under the Vatican in Italy. And the people who works in the Vatican, they have 7 floors of Jewish treasures buried under the Vatican in Rome. Books of Rambam, of tools from the Bet HaMikdash. Billions of dollars worth. And very holy things buried under there. Why? When Titus destroyed, they came and destroyed Bet HaMikdash and Yerushalayim. You see in the gate in Rome, a picture of the Jews carrying the menorah and bringing it to Rome. They themselves made an image of the Jews, the slaves, bringing the treasures of Bet HaMikdash to Italy. It's right there. One rabbi saw it, and he told one rabbi in Monsey, and that rabbi in Monsey asked one of his wealthy students if he wants to give $6 million to release it and bring the menorah to Monsey in the middle of the night. Bring it from Italy with a boat. The Israeli moving companies, they're going to stand over there by the port. It's going to all be packed. Put it in a truck in the middle of the night. A tractor is going to bury a big hole in the backyard of this rabbi. Only he knew about it. The rich guy, I knew about it, and one more rabbi from Manhattan. 4 people knew about it. No, so nobody talks about it. We're all very excited. Now the menorah of Bet HaMikdash will come to, 2 blocks away from my home. I have the chance to touch it. Menorah of Bet HaMikdash, 680 kilo of pure gold, 1,300 pounds of gold. Imagine now when gold is 1,400, how much it's worth. You do the math later. So, first they allow him to come see it. The person wired them $1 million. They send all the papers, all in English, with a stamp from Italy. And now he has to give $5 more million at the time of the pickup. That's the arrangement. So he wants now to go to the Vatican to see it, but they don't allow video camera. I knew an Israeli guy who makes special glasses. And these glasses looks exactly like regular glasses. They have a little box somewhere under here, attached to you with a tape. Everything you're looking at, it records. He sells it to the FBI. You know, one time I came to his house. He has a lab in his basement. That's where he makes them. I told that rabbi, I have a plan. You go with these glasses. Everything you're looking at, you're recording. Why do I remember now this story? Because I was about to tell you, imagine a person has this kind of glasses that everything he looks at, it records in his file. Now, he comes, his wife says, let's see what you recorded today. He comes, he press play, all day women on the screen. There was a wedding, the women are dancing. All of a sudden, he was to the restaurant, only women. What happened to him? His wife say, arrange my get right away. Make sure I get what you promise. I don't want to be your wife. Why? One day seeing what you're looking at and thinking of, I don't want to be around you. The guys take advantage that they don't have this kind of glasses attached to their eyes. But there's only one problem. When a person comes to the court of heaven, these glasses exist. What is it? The soul. Everything is there. Everything is there. And the embarrassment is, there's no words to describe. That's why it's the best advice to begin right away to work on our honesty and clean all the nonsense from our life, because later the payment will be so huge that perhaps we'll never be able to pay it. Now let me give you some examples. Imagine what happened to this father when his daughter and his son-in-law see what he did. Can they ever live peacefully? This family is basically broken. I don't know what was the end of that story, if they stayed married or not. But this is it. Let's give a few more examples. You know, we just finished Purim. Megillat Esther, called Megillat Esther. Why not Megillat Mordechai? You may say, ladies first. Not in the Torah. In America, yes, not in the Torah. So that's not the reason. Why not Megillat Mordechai? Why not Megillat Purim? It can be other names. Why Esther? The answer is because of the pasuk in the Torah, Bayom ha'u Esther astir panai mehem. Hashem wrote in the Torah, there will be a generation that up to that time, I will interact with the Jews face to face. Miracle after miracle, open. Everybody see the miracles. There will be time that I'm going to hide. I will hide behind the scene, and from there I will manage the world. But nobody will see that I'm pulling the strings. Nobody. It would all look nature. But don't forget, nature in Hebrew is ha-teva. Its numeric value, Elokim, God, 86. Elokim, 86. Ha-teva, the nature, also 86. Why? The same thing. No teva, there's no nature, it's all Hashem. So, up to the time of Esther and Mordechai, there were clear miracles. From that time on, everything is hidden. Hashem is very, very, is hiding himself in such a very good, such a perfect way, that even righteous people sometimes are wonder, did Hashem do it or it's coincidence? From that moment on, more than 2,000 years, many of the Jews are very, very confused. Why they're very confused? Because since they're not aware of the presence of Hashem, that there's an eye who watch over them all the time, as the Pasuk say, Ayin ro'a ve'ozen shomat ve'chol ma'asecha b'sefer nichtavim. There's an eye who watch over you, there's an ear who listens to you, and everything you do is being recorded in the book of God. Since people forget about it, they begin to do a lot of foolish things not aware that everything is recorded. For instance, you come to buy a bagel with tuna in a bagel store in the morning on your way to work. Hello? Yes? Is the tuna fresh? It's 2 weeks over there. And every hour, Vinny has an order. Vinny takes his fork, he mixes the tuna. As long as you mix it, it's like a dough. As long as you mix it, even 18 minutes, it's not become chametz. It's only become chametz if you leave the dough 18 minutes without pressing on it. Then it rise. Then it's chametz. That cannot make matzah anymore. It's bread already. It rise. But as long as you press it, even an hour, 2 hours, it doesn't matter. It never becomes chametz. As long as you mix the tuna, it looks like it was just made. He comes to you and say, Avram, the tuna is from today? Of course, you're insulting me. No, he made $6. What happened with these $6? It adds to the next $6 and the next one, and eventually become $500,000 a year. A nice house in Long Island, 2 cars in the driveway, fancy suit, everything is fine. Sending kids to the best yeshiva. 10 years later, each one of these kids is off the way. This one has earring, this one tattoo, this one is about to marry Christine, and he kills himself. What's going on? I send my kids to the best yeshiva. It's the Rebbe's fault. It's the Rosh Yeshiva over there. Why the kids became like this? Because all they did is ate stolen food, stolen money. It's all stolen. Everything he feeds his children is poison. Why? It's all money that he stole. If I go and break to a supermarket and steal bread and feed my kids, the money that I stole, the food that I stole, it's poison. Now the kids eat something that they have no permission to eat. It belongs to the owner of the supermarket. Even by the goyim it's like this. The punishment of a goy that steals is much worse than the punishment of the Jew. I spoke a few days ago in a place, and one woman came to me before the lecture and asked me a question. She told me, I heard in your lecture that Jews are not allowed to cheat on the applications to the Medicaid, to the Section 8s. They ask questions. You want to get help from the government, food stamps. Sometimes you curve the corners a little bit. You know, oh, Rabbi, for $1,000 a year difference, you want me to lose all the benefits? Come on. No, sorry, he forgot to put 10 there. So now she comes to me and says, I spoke to a rabbi, and he told me that by the goyim they can do it. I know Jews cannot do it, he agree with you, but by the goyim they can do it. So I told her why. She said, because, you know, by the goyim is different, it's not like us. So I said, but the goy, one of the 7 laws that Hashem told the goyim is you should not steal. And that's stealing. She said, yes, but by the goyim, you know, when they made a system of the court and the police, it's also one of the 7 laws of Noach. And over there, they say that there are certain things that they can do and certain things that they cannot do. So if you follow the guideline of the laws of the court, for instance, we were talking about bankruptcy. Every time you turn the radio on, remember me. Why? You hear this ad. Hurry up! The laws of bankruptcy are about to be changed. Come today. The law office of whatever. Before you won't be able to take advantage on a bankruptcy law, come and file for bankruptcy today. Let's translate it to simple English. Come today, we'll help you to cheat all your creditors and steal their money and get away with that and get a certificate of integrity from the mayor of New York for being such an honest person. Come today. Now imagine a Jew listens to it. His beard is wiping the floor when he walks. And his sombrero, $500 imported from Mexico. He goes like this, he has a frock, he feels, wow, the whole world is watching me. A very important tzaddik. He comes to this lawyer. No, Mr. Lawyer, yes. Okay, fill up the application, we'll take care of the rest. How much you owe? 5 million, 3 million, 2 million. Okay, change the name of the corporation, go tomorrow, open a new company, we'll take care of the rest. The guy feels, wow, I pay $500 to the lawyer. He cleaned all my files from all the debt that I owe. Over here, yes. Over there, as soon as your trial begins, when does the trial begin? In the time of death. Moments after the soul exits the body and rises to heaven, everything begins. Why we say Kaddish for 1 year? Because the trial is 1 year. Every thought you have is going to be analyzed. Nobody ever ran away from the truth. No one. We won't. Nobody ever did, and nobody ever will. Everything begins. Every beep you said, everything your wife, you coughing, somebody brought you water, you drank, everything. Why you didn't do it a minute before? Why did this happen? Why you told your wife, I don't like your shirt? Who cares, Rabbi? Why do they have to waste time in a court on nonsense? Because everything has to be 100% precise, not 99.9. Reviewing the entire picture, it's all divine. First thing, law of bankruptcy. First, your trial will begin. You're sitting, smiling in the office of this lawyer, filling up the pay. Come to your wife, darling, let's go have a glass of wine in Manhattan in a nice restaurant. I just made $7 million today. In your dream. You still owe every one of these people the money forever, and you're going to be reincarnated as their slave and pay them to the last penny. Nobody ever went to heaven by owing even $1. You got to pay everything. So when I say that in a lecture, she has somebody who works with her is a goy, and she came to me and said, I spoke to that rabbi, and that rabbi told me that it applies only to Jews, what you say. But the goyim, if they made bankruptcy, it's fine. Why? Because the goyim made that law, and a part of the 7 laws, that if the court of the goyim, since it's a part of the 7 laws that God told them to make a court, since the court allowed the bankruptcy, then it's legal. So I say to her, it sounds very nice what you say, but there's only one problem. One of the 7 laws is the goyim not allowed to steal. So every law the goyim will make in their court system, which violates one of the 7 laws, automatically is dismissed. If now the Supreme Court will decide that in the United States the goyim are allowed to eat animals before they die, take them and bite them and eat them and whatever, before they're completely dead, then it's violating the 7 law, ever min achai. If the court will decide tomorrow that they allow some kind of murder, we don't like the color of your skin, in this country you're allowed to kill this kind of people. That's violating the 7 laws. So automatically this law can never go into actions because it's against the 7 laws. It's divine laws. No one can contradict. Same obviously by the Jews. If a Jew followed the court in the United States or in Israel when it contradicts the Torah, he has a very serious problem. Even though he got a letter, they clear him from all debt and penalty, it's a toilet paper. There's nothing else. Why? In Shamayim you're 100% guilty. Do you want to feed your children with this kind of money that you stole from the government or from your partner or from your customers? It's your choice. I know it's hard to hear the truth. Better to know the truth than not even be aware of it. All your life is one big mistake, and now you have a huge credit card bill to pay. Imagine a kid that got a credit card when he's 18, and she didn't really know that a month later the bill comes. Maybe she got the impression you can charge as much as you want. It's all for free. Santa Claus is paying. So she went all day shopping with her bag. It was very sweet for a month until the bill arrived. Once the bill arrived, can she enjoy the clothes that she bought? Every time she looks at that, it's a tragedy. It's going to take me 70 years to pay this. And with penalty and interest. Now in America, you have the law of the bankruptcy. You call the lawyer and he takes care of business. But in Israel, they come to your home and take away your laundry machine. They can take away your plates. They take away your couch. They take away your watch. And if you resist them, they'll give you a punch in between your eyes and break the glasses right into your eyes. And there's nothing you can do about it. Why? Because they call themselves democracy, but they are more communist than the Russians. That's the truth. Why do I tell you this? Because it happens to my aunt. Her husband, Alav Shalom, signed the guarantor for his brother on a loan. They came to their home and cleaned everything. Even the clothes from the laundry machine, they didn't want to leave. They took it with the clothes inside. And when my cousin came and said to him, what kind of heart you have? You sure you're a Jew? He turned around and he said, yeah, I'm a Jew. Boom! And also spit in his face. You understand? And there's nothing you can do. You can't sue them. It's called Otsa'a LaPo'al. That's what it is, execution. The court gives them a letter, and they come, and they take it away. Okay, so he said, well, no, I lost $5,000. Let me go buy a new laundry machine. Guess what? They show up next week, and they take the new one. You understand what's happened when you don't pay over there? If you have $4,000 debt to pay, a year later, it becomes $1 million shekel. Worse than the mafia. Take money from the mafia, that's it, they become your wife forever. A wife that you can never give her a get. That's it. No, the get doesn't work. A leech, right here. No. Ay, 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 ay. Rav Moshe Feinstein, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, was the chief rabbi in America till about 20 years ago when he passed away. He lived in Lower East Side, and he was known as a very honest person. It's one thing to be a big Talmid Chacham. Most of the Talmidei Chachamim are honest people because the Torah purified a person. It's a rule, but there's always an exception to the rule. It can be a person knows a lot of Torah and is still a deceiving person. He was very, very clean. Very, very clean person. So clean that one rabbi made a monthly magazine, Words of Torah, articles, people write about subjects in Halacha, and the whole reason he made that magazine is to criticize Rav Moshe Feinstein. He's not so happy with his psakim. Every month when they write this magazine, half of it is criticism about his psakim. And guess what? They send it to people by mail. And you pay annual fee. You subscribe to this catalog, to this whatever. And who do they send it? To Rav Moshe Feinstein's house. And he has to read how they criticize him. And then after 3 months, they call him up. Sir, Mr. Feinstein, yeah, you're behind on a payment 3 months. He never ordered it. They already sent it to him. He said, what happened? He says, I never ordered it. Sir, I don't know. I'm only a collector. You owe 3 months. He said, okay, I'm sending you a check, but please don't send it to me anymore. So his student asked him, Rabbi, I don't understand. You never order it. They send you poison to your home and you have to pay for it? Imagine a guy comes to you, Yosef, yeah, I'm Jose. I have beer for you. Pesach. No beer. No chametz. No, here. He put it on my kitchen table. It's for me. Adios. It's my sin now. He put the chametz in my house? No. If I'm interested, I make שהכל נהיה בדברו, yeah. No problem. I'm interested in it. But if I'm not, it doesn't matter. He can put all the chametz in the world, make a pile all the way here from the moon. I'm not guilty. He can throw chametz to my backyard. I'm not guilty. My backyard, buy it for me if I'm interested. If it's diamonds, it's mine. Nobody can take it. If it's chametz on Pesach, it's not mine. That's the halacha. So Rav Moshe, he asked him, Rabbi, why are you paying for it? He said, I have a rule in my life. I want to leave this world completely clean. That there is not even one person on earth that will be able to make any complaint against me. Whether he's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. That's the goal that I have in my life. Rav Yaakov Kaminetsky also lived in Monsey until a few years ago. He was a very holy person. And one time my rabbi asked him, Rabbi, I noticed that you don't eat fish on Shabbat. Jew doesn't eat fish on Shabbat? What does the Gemara say? Aochel dag, beyom dag, nitzol midag. Someone who eats dag means fish. Beyom dag, in a dag day, we'll see what it means, get saved from dag. Eating dag on a dag day, getting saved from dag. It reminds me when I got married, my wife's grandfather, Mr. Tischler, he was a rabbi when he was 17 years old, also from Lower East Side. So he comes to the wedding in Israel, you know, with his American bow tie, black tie. He sits in the wedding. So the waiter comes to him and says, Sir, ma bishvilcha? What's for you? What do they serve? Chicken cutlet, chicken, and fish. So he told him, we have off, chicken, we have schnitzel, chicken cutlet, and we have dag. He thought he said duck. So he said, I'll have the duck. The Israeli waiter, duck, he doesn't know the difference. He brings him fish. 10 minutes he eats the fish. He said that this is no duck. He's already in Olam Haba. So here, you eat dag. On a dag day, you get saved from dag. If you eat fish, on the 7th day, dag, dalet is 4, numeric value, gimel is 3, so it's 7. If you eat fish on the 7th day, which is Shabbat, you get saved from dag. What's dag? Abbreviation, din gehenom. That's the secret. So my rabbi comes to Rav Yaakov Kaminetsky and says, Rabbi, you don't eat fish ever in Shabbat? They always serve you gefilte fish, you never eat. Maybe you don't like gefilte fish. So he said to him, one of my most favorite food is fish. So why don't you eat? He said, when I was 18 years old in Russia, I was invited one Friday night to a meal by a family there. And the woman served fish. After I bit from the fish, the first bite, I almost vomit. It was so bad. So I took it out in a napkin or in a whatever I had over there. And then the woman came out of the kitchen a few minutes later and said, Yaakov, you don't like my fish? So I say to her, I'm sorry, I don't like fish in general. Well, I don't want to insult her in front of everyone. So then the next time when they served me fish, I had a problem. If I'm going to eat now, it makes my other statement a lie. The Torah says you should never lie. Since there until today, 60 years, I didn't touch fish, even if it's my most favorite food. Never to lie. You understand what a kosher Jew is?
He still lied. He says he doesn't like it. He doesn't say lie.
No, he said, I don't like fish. I don't eat fish. That's it. Don't eat. Don't eat. Didn't eat. Didn't eat. You understand? That's never touch fish anymore. Why? When you live according to the Torah, it's always, not only sometimes. It's very hard. It's a big test. The Torah says, "Leolam yeh Adam." Leolam yeh Adam. I tell you something. In lectures, I think that's the way I brought up. People wants to talk, they have to raise their hand. No, in kindergarten, my mora used to tell me. She has to go like this. I got very bad. I don't just get up and talk. You know, you want to talk, I'll say after the lecture, and then I run away. No hard feeling, I have another lecture tonight. I'm serious, in Englewood at 11. So I got to leave in 15 minutes. All right, anyway. So the Torah says, לעולם יהיה אדם מודה על האמת, לעולם יהיה אדם ירא שמיים בסתר כבגלוי. A person should always be ירא שמיים, fearful from God, בסתר, in hidden rooms, as he is on the street, in public. ודובר ומודה על האמת, always admitting what's the truth, always, no matter how convenient it is or not. That's the truth and I don't care. ודובר אמת בלבבו, and speak the truth in his thinking, in his heart, not in his mouth. It's needless to say in his mouth, in his heart. So a person should always have fear from Hashem. What's the opposite of white? Black. No. What's the opposite of sweet? Sour. What's the opposite of a man? A woman. Not always, but what's the opposite of Yirat Shamayim? Fear from God. Problem. What's the right term? You have Yirat Shamayim, fear from Hashem. What's the opposite of it? Not exactly. No. I tell you, it should have been no Yirat Shamayim, no fear from Hashem. No other way, really. That's not what the Torah says. You'll be surprised. Torah is very precise. It's a divine language. We cannot move an inch from the language of the Torah. Nobody. The Torah says there is Yirat Shamayim. That's an ultimate goal to reach. And what's the opposite of it? Lack of attention in every second of your life. Don't pay attention to what you're doing. Eating not kosher, don't stop to think how much it's going to cost me one day. Left your house, not going to the synagogue, not tefillin, not thinking what you're doing to your soul. Speaking Lashon Hara, destroying the life of a person, not standing to think what's going to come out of it. If a person stops 1 second to think before he does, 99% of the sins that he does will be avoided right away. And what's the proof? Women in Israel made more than 2 million abortions since Israel became a state in 60-something years. 2 million Jews were murdered to death with no mercy. Why? Because their women didn't want to spend another $200-300 a month to feed them. That's most of the reasons. No, they one time made an experiment. They took the women after they signed all the necessary papers, and they brought a special thing, and they put it attached to their stomach. And the women heard on the speakers the pulse of the baby. Tuck, 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 tuck. They said, what's this? Say, that's the pulse of the baby. She said, what do you mean pulse? It's only 3 months. She said, yeah, it's a complete baby. He's thinking, he's tasting, he has pulse, he's a complete size of a cookie, but he's a human being. You know? So the women, 1/3 of them right away got up, threw the blanket away, said, I'm not doing it. That month, 1/3 of the kids got saved. Why? 1 second to think. Pulse? It's a human being, I'm going to kill him because of convenience? I'm going to be a murderer just because I don't want a 3rd kid? I have 2 dogs at home and a kid I don't want? You know what's going on here? 1 second of attention, right away they change their mind. And many other things in life, it's like this. Where do we learn it in the Torah? When Hashem hit Egypt with 10 plagues, Moshe came to Pharaoh and said, prepare, all the animals are going to die. No, the Torah said, Ele sheyaru et Hashem, those who were fearful from Hashem, they made their animals run away into the houses, that they won't get killed. And the other people, how does the Torah describe them? Those who did not pay attention to the word of God, not those who did not fear God. Those who did not pay attention, their animals died. What do we learn from here? That the most important thing in life is to pay attention to everything that you do. And the only way to do it is learning Torah daily. If not, it's like an infection that you have and you're not taking your antibiotic. It's only growing. It's not becoming any better. There is no way ever to become a better human being without daily learning Torah. No way, just no way. You can be a nice, pleasant person. Come to me, I'll make you a list of how many things you still have to correct. Ego, being humbled, instigating, no faith in God, gossip, anger, laziness. Laziness. Not being honest. You see, not being honest is not only being a crook in your store and selling gold and say that it's 24 karat when it's really not. That's a crook, of course. Not being honest can be you are a rabbi in yeshiva. A rabbi in yeshiva, Rosh Yeshiva, the chief of the rabbis, and you're a big crook. How can it be? A person that teaches Torah in your yeshiva, for a few years is learning by you. He comes to you to get an advice. Rabbi, I'm here already 6 years. I'm thinking that maybe it's time to move on to a higher level yeshiva. Maybe I go to Israel, to Yerushalayim for a year or two to elevate my skills in Torah learning. An honest and decent and kosher rabbi has to go through his head and think what's good for him, not what's good for me. For me, of course it's good, he's going to stay here. He's teaching all man Torah for free for me. It's less headache for me. He's working, he's learning here, he's sleeping here in a dorm. While he's here, he's teaching a lot of Torah. It gets a lot of headache away from me. So for me, of course, I'll tell him, no, stay here. It's a holy place here. You may have problems over there. Why? All he cares is to continue to take advantage on his services. He doesn't care what's good for him, what's not good for him. No. Or a person made a shidduch. He made a shidduch. And somebody else made a shidduch. And he knows that the other shidduch is better. But his ego, he wants to take the credit. So he tells the guy, no, trust me, this girl is better for you. Knowing the other one is better. That's a liar, that's a crook. What's going on here? You going to destroy someone's life or future just for your ego? Just for your personal gain? I'll give you another example. 2 people learn Gemara. Then they come to a point in a Gemara that one say left and the other one say right. For 3 hours they're arguing. Why the argument takes 3 hours, you know? Because one of them at least, one of them is a crook. One of them. Could be both of them, but one of them for sure. He refused to admit. If he was an honest person and humble, after a minute or two, so you're right, your point makes more sense, let's move on. But if I'm going to tell him that he's right, it's going to make him smarter than me, right? I'm here 7 years, he's only 2 years here. What's going to happen here? He's a better student. Honesty. In the yeshiva, 20 years learned Gemara and he's a crook. You see, just learning without applying it to everyday's life is not, it's like a short between the brain and the heart. The distance between the brain and the heart sometimes is longer than circling the entire universe. Why? What goes in doesn't go to the heart, and the evil inclination is celebrating. You see, the non-religious people always like to say that the religious people are like prisoners. Everything not allowed, not allowed. Asur, asur, asur. Asur comes from the word asir, prisoner. Asur, not allowed, not allowed, restricted. In reality, who is a prisoner? The secular people. They are much bigger prisoners. They are the prisoners of their own evil inclination and desire. Who is their master? Their master that runs their life is their desires. The desire determines where they're going to go in the next minute, and in the next minute, and in the next minute. And all their map in life is determined based on their desire, which is all fake, and the whole life is one big lie. For instance, food. Who cares food? Delicious, not delicious. You have to care, kosher or not kosher, legal or not legal. If it's, by the way, delicious, very nice. Most people, when they have 2 restaurants, one extremely kosher and one extremely tasty, but sometimes they serve dog meat, not hot dogs. Rabbi, but it's only once in a while. I remember one guy came to me and said, you know, I said to him, I saw you coming out of the Chinese restaurant in Union Turnpike in Queens, corner of Main Street. There's a shopping center there. Chinese restaurant. That was 15 years ago. He said to me, so what's the problem? I said, it's not a kosher restaurant. I said, don't worry. I don't eat any pork there. I said to him, you're fool. The oil is full of pork. What? They cook pork there. The same oven, the same pots, same oil. So he said to me, don't be fanatic. I eat sesame noodles. I eat chicken with vegetables. I said, chicken? Chicken is completely not kosher. He said, it's chicken. The ignorance of the people sometimes is amazing. So I said to him, okay, next time when you go and check inside the kitchen when the Chinese workers over there eat dogs and cats. They cook it in the same oven. He told me, you fanatic. Years later, he told me, guess what I found out? They really eat cats. Why I remember this now? On my way to Brooklyn, I called up my father. And my father is in charge of a house that my grandmother left after she passed away. So I told my father, he said, I have a problem. I said, why? He said, for 3 months I cannot rent the house. He said, why? He said, the government is very strict now on all the illegal workers that came from the islands, all the workers from Africa there, and they, evacuate them from the country. It's very difficult now to find people who wants to rent it. It's in a very bad neighborhood. So I told him, what about the Chinese? It used to be rented to Chinese people. He said, no, Chinese I don't want. I said to him, why? He said, the last time I had a Chinese, he cooked a dog of one of the neighbors over there. Yeah, he took a dog of one of the neighbors and ate it. A dog or a cat, I don't remember what it was. So for 3 months he cannot rent the apartment because the neighbors over there, they're going to kill him. You understand what's going on? When the Thailandi workers arrived to Israel, in 1 month, half of the dogs in Israel disappeared. No, it's not a joke. Half of the dogs in Israel disappeared. Expensive dogs. When you don't have Torah, you eat everything that moves. The Torah says like this. Mi ya'aleh be'ar Hashem? Who is going to climb in a mountain of God in the way to the next world? What's the answer? Neki kapayim uvar levav. People with clean hands and pure heart. Translation, not thieves, not deceiving people, not people who lie and cheat and all the rest of the story. You clean? Where is the tuna from? 2 weeks ago is here already. The truth. You ask, I answer. You step out. Next customer come. When is the tuna from? It's not from today. That's not a lie. I don't have to tell you that it's from 5 months ago. It's not from today. You mean it's from yesterday? No, I didn't say so. There's ways out of it without lying. If in the end there's no choice, just increase your insurance. One other common problem, using your friend's Medicaid card or health insurance card. I get a lot of these calls. Rabbi, can I use my brother's health insurance card? What about you? You don't have insurance? No. So the medicine is $70. My brother can go get it for me. That's 100% stealing. It's like robbing a pharmacy. You rob the insurance company. Yes, the insurance company robbed the whole world. But the Torah never gave permission to steal from the thieves. That's why they have so many earthquakes and hurricanes. They all go bankrupt, all the insurance companies. Maybe the only reason Hashem is doing it is just for them. Yes. All the Israeli insurance companies are invested big time in Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. What happened in the last 3-4 months? Earthquakes in New Zealand. They already lost. One of the investors lost $15 million. He was an investor in a company. And now the one in Japan put him out of business. 40 years of earnings, 40 years of cheating the customers. 60 seconds, it's all gone. That's the end. What do you think? You think anyone ever benefit from stealing money? Anyone? You really believe that Hashem will let you benefit from something it's against His book? It's hard. Faith is very hard. It's like working on your muscle for 10, 20 years until you get to what you want. It's very hard. In the end, there's great results. People with no faith, they steal a lot. They lie, they cheat. It seems that they are making money. Why? Why Hashem let you keep the money 10 years until He takes it? Take it right away. It will eliminate your free choice. Big deal. Every crook, a minute later, lost what he just stole. Twice, 3, 4 times. That's it. He'll never steal again. Doesn't pay. A minute later, somebody come and rob me. Every time I steal, I lose double. I'm a fool? I'm a sadistic? What am I? What's the right word for that? Masochist. One last minute, and then if you have some questions. You know, it's very common to take loans from banks, from friends, from relatives. There's no permission to take loan unless if you have a secure way to pay it back. I can go and say, hey, I want to open a restaurant. Can you give me $500,000? Do I have collateral to back it up in case something goes wrong that I can sell and pay it? No, don't open a restaurant. Don't make experiments with other people's blood. He worked 10 years to save this money. Who gave you permission to take it and gamble? If you had your own money, would you gamble? Probably not. But since you took it from the bank, if I'll be successful, I became a millionaire. If not, I'll count on Obama. They print a lot of money to pay back the banks. If Obama paid the banks back, you still owe the bank money. You never resolved your problem with them. So in case I depress you very much tonight, and you owe a lot of money to people and you didn't pay, there is a solution. The nature of the people, after a while, they get tired of waiting. And they lose hope. It's called Yeush. They realize... Today I saw my neighbor got a letter, accidentally came to me. I thought it's advertisement. I look, they say 70% off. He owed them money 7 years. On a credit card, he can't pay. He lost his job, whatever. So they waived 70%. Pay, we waive it. Why? Desperation. They waive 10 and then 20 and 30. Come to the people you owe money. Say, can I meet with you personally? Yeah. I have no words to describe how much I embarrassed, how bad I feel. I regret it deeply. I made a big mistake. I know I owe you money. I know I can never make it up to you for the suffering I caused. And I know I owe you, I don't know, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is. I want to be able to pay it. But I just can't. I don't have. I owe more people money. I want to give you 20% and hopefully you'll be merciful to forgive me with the rest. Most of the time they'll say, okay, give me that and we finished. Why? We're thinking better 20% in your hand than 2 birds on a tree. If you have 3 birds on a tree and you shot one of them and you killed it, how many birds left on a tree? 0. The other 2 went away. You got it? Better to take 20% and lose the whole thing. If he said no, next year you try. Before you die, most likely you will accept it. And if not, send something every month. You still have to call before Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah and apologize and send a letter and who knows. If you have anything to offer him through your work, your services, listen, I'm an artist. You want me to make you a Picasso picture? Maybe one day when I die I will worth millions. When I came to America in 1989, I lived in Great Neck by a house of my father's friend. It wasn't even direct friend of my father. His brother was my father's friend. It was a nice person who agreed to accept me to live in his house for a few days, which turns later to a few months, as is always do, But this time it wasn't my fault. He just didn't have kids and was bored. And he saw a friendly guy. He wanted me to play backgammon with him. I say, if that's what I have to do every day for 10, 20 minutes, and I have a free place to live and free food, no, let it be. So when I got there, one time he took me on a trip. When we were on the George Washington Bridge, he got a phone call that robbers broke into his house. And I felt so embarrassed. I said, oh, I brought him bad luck. Finally, he took me on a trip to New Jersey somewhere. He got a phone call, we have to return back to Great Neck. So he said to me, it's my lucky day today. I say, why? He say, I have insurance. Finally I'm going to get so much money for all the stupid painting that my wife brought to the marriage. Apparently his wife, from her ex-husband, they used to give food to a homeless person who used to paint pictures. Artist, homeless. He used to come, they give him food and some money every once in a while, and he gives them a painting. And then he died, this homeless, one day. And then later, after he died, every little picture like this, 20,000, 80,000, I don't know, in art, there's no logic. The ugliest statue in history was sold a year ago for $104 million to a Jewish lady. $104 million. If you see this statue in the garbage, you won't pick it up. I promise you. Don't believe me? I'll send you an email of this statue. You see it in the street, you don't bend down to pick it up. 104 million. Why? A fool deceived another fool, and a fool deceived another fool, and I don't know, 20 years later, he arrives to that price. That's how it is. So what happened in the end? Now, all these paintings that the homeless gave them, he got tons of money. Tons of money in the end. You see, whatever you do for others, in the end, you always do for yourself. The conclusion of this lecture from now on, if somebody here is not 100% straight, you should know nobody enter heaven unless if he's clean. Now it's the time to wake up, not when you're 75. By then it's going to be very hard to make deals and pay back. Now, by calling, by asking, by writing apologies later, by making appointments, and of course, never to steal again. No cheating on applications, no cheating here, no cheating there, no deceiving people, not going to the store, buying a dress for tomorrow's wedding and then return it the next day because they have a return policy. Do you want someone to do it to you? You sell a dress, $2,000, the next day she brings it with some lipstick on the neck. My dog spilled something, knowing, a person told me, Rabbi, I have to go to Florida with a car. So I say, you have a GPS? He said, no, but I'm going to get one. So you have money? He said, no. So what are you going to do? He said, I'm buying from Costco. And when I come back from Florida, I return it. What is this? This is a Jew? It's an embarrassment. One day Hashem will show it to you. It's going to be a big embarrassment. Imagine they show you on television, did something like this. You know what happened one time? Someone sent me an email, the biggest Chilul Hashem. The biggest. I have to say it. I know I'm running out of time, but I got to tell you this story. Mamash, I cried when I saw it. I cried. They show a couple from Brooklyn, Orthodox couple, beard, black yarmulke. The woman has a nice fancy shadel. What happened is, they send their stuff to a dry cleaning, Spanish goyim, dry clean. She gave the wig, and they put the wig in a laundry machine. And they did laundry, they washed the wig. And the wig became like a frog, And she brings it now, and there's a show on television that it's court. There's a woman judge, live. The whole United States watch this case now. The Jews against the Spanish goyim. While the judge is almost 100% convinced that these Spanish people hardly speak English, they have to pay for the wig, $3,000. She brings a receipt. They were that close from getting the money from the Spanish people. Then the judge say, time out. She went behind the scene. She came back after 2 minutes. She called up the people from the receipt. She looked at the name on the wig. And the people, they told her, yeah, we sold the wig for $3,000, but not that wig. That wig is garbage. synthetic, it's maybe $200, the one you're describing. We don't sell that garbage. We sell custom-made wig. And that's the one we sold this woman, and I see in a computer, for $3,000. In front of who knows how many millions of Americans, the biggest Chilul Hashem, trying to steal from the goy $3,000. If you're a believer of God, you're going to be so filthy, so low. You have no faith, not even 1%. Every time fighting, running, money, no permission to steal from the goyim. Not a penny. Not allowed to steal from the goyim. Not allowed to cheat them. Not allowed to lie to them. Nothing in business. You owe them money, you must pay. You have to apologize. What do you think? It's a joke? It's people who created in the image of God. You cannot do whatever you want. And that's ignorance. Not only sometimes evilness, sometimes it comes out of ignorance. People think, it's permitted, it's not so important. Go and check. Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll hope that by the next time we meet, we all be clean completely. We have to work on us. There's a lot of work. I thank again to everyone I thanked before. Thank you very much.